Hello from Joel's Tour. We're going to go to Angel Island. And remember, please like, subscribe, and share. And we'd love your wonderful comments as well. We're going to go through Tiburon, which is a small town feel with an expensive cost. It's all about the views, and they are gorgeous, so keep your camera on cam. We're going to ride on the ferry, which is a beautiful trip, of course. Now there's a lot of different ways. There's a sunset cruise as well, which I think I would enjoy actually. Tiburon is very expensive, with a medium house costing $2.8 million. It's very beautiful. People are going in and out of the ships all the time. And of course there's safety precautions with a rescue boat here. And we're of course going to ride on the ferry. It's a short and sweet trip. And here I am. I tend to be a little nervous before I start going, in spite of the fact I love it. It's a short trip, and anticipate very smooth. This is the captain's booth, and it's kind of interesting. Of course, the crew is coming on board, and we'll be moving along in a couple minutes. Here I am trying to get comfortable as we're on our way out, something that I always feel good about. We're leaving Tiburon. It's got a lot of nice restaurants and stores. Captain's doing some announcements, kind of helpful. I really enjoy the Bay Area, and Tiburon is gorgeous. And there's sailboats, etc., and a lot of birds and animals. And I think there's a property here for sale for $35 million. Angel Island has a lot of things, hiking, camping, and other things. Our last view of Tiburon is a very beautiful city. And here's the Golden Gate Bridge. Everyone goes for the view. On the island you have camping, hiking, and history. Very interesting. And here's the Visitors Center. And the cove is named after a ship captain that came here during the colonial period. And you have, of course, a restaurant. We're just getting to Angel Island. It's got a pretty nice dock here. Also, as we're leaving Tiburon, I feel like it almost like leaving the Amalfi Coast in Italy. You know, I was really surprised by the fact that there weren't many boats there, but then again, it was Thursday, so might be a reason. We met someone here that was going to go camping overnight. The staff was very helpful and friendly and informative. See them off. Remember, there's not a lot of ferries going back and forth. It is a state park, but they still have other rangers. If you are going to take a sailboat here, please plan ahead to register as well. Now, what I would suggest is coming here during the early part of the day, so you can have more time. And when we did it in the later afternoon, it kind of shorted us for our experience on the island. But it was still worth it, and there's a lot on the island historically and recreationally. So no matter when you go, there'll be a lot for you to enjoy. But always plan ahead. That always helps, no matter what you're doing. It is an amazingly short trip, and financially it's not that bad. The pier is pretty modern, and it looks like it's pretty operating well. It is kind of steep, the path that we took, and a bit of a challenge. The good thing is you can look back, and it was a beautiful cove. And here is San Rafael Bridge in Richmond. And I have to admit, I did struggle with this, and I kept on thinking, just a couple more steps. Funny thing is, there's an island in the middle of here, and it's in 3 counties. This is a gorgeous Tiburon from afar. Once we got on top of the road, It was a lot easier, a lot more comfortable to walk. And of course, it's the San Francisco Bay Area. It's all about the views. The signs were somewhat helpful, but not really. This one is the mule barn, but they actually had horses there as well. Now, it's a good idea to keep focused on where you are on the island with the map. There's a lot of history here, so it's a good idea to learn and read. And of course, take only memories with you. And there's a lot of historical markings there, so keep your eye out. And of course, Julia Morgan designed some of the buildings here. But the interesting thing is they actually set fire to her buildings to train people how to firefight. Please like, subscribe, and share. We'd appreciate that and would help improve our show. But as we're going down here, I can't help but remember, I think they set fire to some of the buildings to practice firefighting. Here's the women's barrack, and it was very worn down. The detention center barracks was awkward. It was very huge and definitely had the military feel. They were very stark, very awkward feeling. There was the picnic tables. Bring a great lunch if you do that. Now, we got here a little late. It was probably not a good idea. It's $5. The building was very stark, had a lot of information. This is probably not the best of the displays, but it was still accurate. Of course, you're going to learn a lot of things, so keep your eye out there. And they had this poetry that people wrote and made sure that they could identify who wrote it. You know, I can't help but look and see this and think about how difficult it must be. They have a lot of interesting displays here. They try to keep it to the original, and I think they did pretty good with that. You know, a lot of these things definitely have a military feel to it, and people would write poetry and express their frustration. This one, I think, is just gorgeous. It's right into the wall. And it definitely did have a military feel to it. You know, you can't help but wonder, these people that lived there for so long, some of them too long. I think these are probably the more effective. Just a little more realistic, and the suitcases are pretty accurate. As far as you can see people coming in with these items. And what I like about this is it kind of shows the congestion that would have been there, and how they had people from both Asia and Africa as well. I like this one because it probably looks and gives a feel of what it was. I like this picture because it's beautiful and stark. So many people are there for so long, some of them unnecessarily long. And then you have people eating and living their lives and they were here when it was cold and dark and miserable. And you had people in their suitcase with all their lives inside. And they try to adapt to the new country, the new lives as well. Now, they tried very much to keep this with the original furniture. I think they did a good job as well. And frankly, it's pretty interesting as they tried to accommodate a new country. I like this because it gives you an idea of a 3D model of what this area looks like. We got a ride back, cost about $5 each. The woman was very helpful. One thing I was very impressed overall, the staff was very informative and kind, and a lot of information as well. And was a little surprised, but you know, we were there on a Thursday, so probably wouldn't have been a lot of boats there. There was a lot of people as well. I'm not really a crowd person. That there is a couple of stores for food and beverages and etc. there. One of the things I thought was interesting is that there was people biking as well, and I kind of like that. If you do take a boat there, remember to register online. And one last thing, the restaurant was closed by the time we got back. I kind of like this boat. This is interesting. Now we did see some people leave that were going to stay there overnight with the camping. Camping's not my thing, but I think they would have a great time. They would go to the top of the island and see a 360 view of the San Francisco Bay Area. And remember too, the views on the sunset would be spectacular. And do I have any advice for going on the island? Oh, by the way, we saw a lot of animals, about half dozen deer, and other animals as well. So would I have any advice for going on the island? Well, I would say yes. I would say bring the sunscreen, hydrate, make sure that you have some food, plan the trip in advance. There's limited trips between the two of them, and it never hurts to plan. Use a sunscreen, hydrate, wear a hat, and most of all, enjoy yourself. Enjoy your time at the island. It's really gorgeous. Remember, of course, San Francisco Bay Area was all about the sailboats, and there's more on the weekend. So if you do travel, there will be, of course, more people there, but you'll more likely see a lot more sailboats there. So thank you so much, and we'll see you again at Joel's Tour. By the way, please like, subscribe, and share, and we look forward to seeing you again